Hello and welcome to Folio Weekly. I'm Rob Nicholson. Today I have on the show none other than Ed Roland from Collective Soul. Ed, hello and welcome.
How you doing, Rob? Good to hear from you, buddy.
Doing fantastic. And I guess we need to reveal, Ed and I knew each other in a totally different life. He used to come on my show in Atlanta called the Georgia Music Show with Heather Murphy and I. And he was with a band called Marching Two Step, and we had mutual friend Michelle Ray is who put us all together. So it really means a lot these years later. I can't believe it's been 30 years, Ed.
Wow, does it feel like 30 years to you?
No.
It only feels like 5 or 6, Man, how cool is this to kind of reconnect with you? It's awesome, dude.
It is fantastic. You're out on a tour. It started in July. You'll be touring through the end of September. You're touring with Switchfoot, and I don't know if it was you that said it, or someone said it's Southern boys hanging out with SoCal boys, and it should be a good time. Are you having fun on this tour?
We're having a blast. We've been friends with Switchfoot for, over a decade, and John and I had talked about touring together for a long time, and then the pandemic hit. And then it just worked out perfect, and they're laid back. Like I said, I'm the one that said that. I said, we're Southern boys. We're very laid back. And they're Southern Cal surfer boys. They're laid back. It's just a laid back. Everybody has fun and enjoys each other. It's so far so good. I mean, it's just a fun time. It's the way it should be. Everybody respects each other, has fun, and, on to the next show.
That's awesome. And do you like touring or producing records or both?
It's funny. I was in the bus talking last night with the boys in the band, and we're excited because we're releasing Vibrating, but we've already recorded 2 other records, and we're going to record a 3rd one in January. And we enjoy both, but they both excite you, if that makes sense. You're excited to go in and see the creation, to see what we can come up with, and then you're excited to go express it live. So it's one of those, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. We just get excited about the chicken and we get excited about the egg.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So Vibrating, the record you're touring on, tell us about it.
It was recorded I get lost on time with the whole pandemic thing. Everybody does. It's funny to talk to people now that it's like, oh, I can't remember time because it's like mind erased for 2 years. But it was either 4 or 5 years ago. It was going to be the next record, and then I was kind of flowing with songs. And about 2 months later, we went and recorded 10 more songs. I was like, okay, well, let's make a double album. We got enough for a double album. And then management steps in and goes, Ed, this is not 1970s or the 80s anymore. Nobody makes double albums. So we put Blood out, which was the newest one we had done, toured on that, and kind of really forgot about the other 10 songs. But then all of a sudden we were like, wait a second, because it was supposed to come out literally 1 year after, but the pandemic hit. I mean, it's all confusing. I'm sure I'm confusing everybody, but time-wise. So this was supposed to come out in 2020, and the pandemic hit, and then maybe 2019. Anyway, so it was supposed to be a double album, and here we are, and we listened to it. We're like, man, that sounds great. I mean, there was nothing we needed to change, nothing we wanted to change, and we're excited for people to hear it.
You've had personnel changes in the band over the years, but you've always maintained a consistency. How have you done that?
There's still 3 out of the original 5 that are in there, and I've been lucky, and the people that have come in later in the lineup change, Jesse and Johnny, we're the ones that are lucky. Just they actually came in and were like, Dad, what y'all are doing is great. You don't like this is quit trying to overthink it. So we really helped me to focus, just to be a songwriter, not worry about playing guitar, lead guitar, or any of that. And it was I really attribute a lot of it to, first, that we all grew up together. Of course, my brother's in the band, Dean, and Will was across the street. And then when Jesse and Johnny came in, it really just kind of just put the icing on the cake, because they were raised very similar as we were, and you know, they really kind of inspired me, and kind of took a lot of pressure off me for, you know, what I had to do as a producer or a songwriter. Like, just, hey Ed, go write a song. we'll take care of the rest, and it's been great.
That's interesting because y'all really have been friends since you were kids. I mean, that had to be an interesting path to go on together.
I think it's been easier, to be honest with you. I think that's helped with the longevity, because, you know, I've known, of course, my brother since he was born. I've known Will since he was born, and Jesse, I feel like I've known since he was born, and Johnny. It's a very spiritual thing we have in the band, and you know, it's tough. I think if you're like 18, 19-year-old, you know, kid, and you meet somebody, you really don't. We grew up with each other. I've always said this. We know when to give each other a hug, and we know when to punch somebody in the face. Like, we will not allow anybody to get out of line. And if you do, you get your ass fired, like a couple of them did.
Then there you go. There you go. You know, here at Folio, one of the things I cover in music is country, the country arm of the industry. And I did not know that Dolly Parton had recorded a version of Shine and actually won a Grammy for it.
I know. And we were the most played rock band in the 90s, which means I was the most played producer of rock in the 90s, most played music, most played songwriter. And I've never even been nominated for a Grammy, but I got one from Dolly, so I won. I don't care.
That's a great way to look at it, because who doesn't love Dolly Parton for sure? One thing that's probably an old question for you, but I find it interesting that the name Collective Soul actually comes from what I've read, one of Ayn Rand's books, Fountainhead. Do you mind telling me about that?
Well, I was just starting to read, and I'd heard you know, I tried reading Atlas Shrugged by her. I got about halfway through, and I was like, man, I'm really dumb. I just can't do it. And I was like, well, I'll try Fountainhead. And I read it. After about 150 pages, I started getting into it. And at the time, we were just looking for a band name, and it was the character in there, Howard Rourke, when he was talking about we're a collection of souls, society, like. And I was like, oh, I like collection of souls, collective soul. I like, and it just kind of came from that, honestly. Kind of mismatching the words a little bit, but I did enjoy the meaning. I mean, to me, the band, we are collective. I mean, we're soulmates, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it says it all.
Sorry, I'm clearing my throat.
That's okay. I know we're catching you early here, but listen, Ed, I cannot thank you enough for coming to letting Folio talk to you, because I know you don't do a lot of interviews, but I really appreciate you doing this one. Ed will be in town with the guys on September. Let's see, you're here on September 13th, and at the Florida Theater. So get your tickets now with Switchfoot. It's going to be an awesome show. Ed, thank you again for being with us. It's great to talk to you.
Thank you. And if anybody's out on the beach, those boys with Switchfoot will be out there surfing. So anybody wants to come out and surf with us, bring it.
Come, yeah. Tell them to come.
They're trying to teach a Southern boy. They're trying to teach a Southern boy how to surf.
Well, we definitely have our share of surfers here in Jacksonville, Florida. So they'll fit right in. They'll fit right in.
All right. Sounds good. We look forward to it.
We can't wait either. See you at the show, Ed. Thanks again. And for Folio Weekly Magazine, I'm Rob Nicholson.